Another way to think about literacy, and this is the common definition of literacy developed by the United Nations and accepted across the world, is that literacy is those set of skills that we need in order to participate in the society in which we find ourselves. So you see, dribbling down the screen, those skills that researchers from everywhere have said, these are the basic, fundamental, essential, key competencies that anyone, anywhere needs to have in order to participate in society. You'll notice that it doesn't just say reading and writing. It says numeracy and oral communication and team building and computer use, document use, interestingly, is a little different than prose use, thinking. Thinking is another thing you can't shut off very easily unless you're good at meditating. So thinking, though, means problem solving, critical thinking, analysis, goal setting, that sort of thing. Interestingly, the set of skills that we need today in a knowledge-based technological society is quite different than the skills we needed even 50 years ago in a resource-based economy. 50 years ago, we didn't have computers, for example. We didn't have the overload of information that we have now. For example, I find myself saying to my children, "You're so lucky. Look at all the television channels you have and color TV." I had black and white TV, and there was only 2 stations. Sometimes when I say that, people say, "How did you get 2 stations?" We just had 1. Do some of you remember those days? Hockey night in Canada? If you only had 1 station, hockey night in Canada seemed to be perpetual, especially if you weren't a hockey fan. Do you remember Ed Sullivan, Sunday night Ed Sullivan? Anybody here remember the Howdy Doody show? No? Oh, yay! After school, we used to watch Howdy Doody, the puppet, and Don Messer's Jubilee. Does anybody remember Don Messer's Jubilee? Yay! CBC television. There it was. How many stations do we have on TV now? Hundreds of stations. You can watch all kinds of things on TV. You can listen to music on TV. And we have computers. I remember introducing computers to my adult basic education class in about 1991 or 92. And we were talking about how wonderful it was going to be to surf the internet. And then when we got the internet, it wasn't quite like surfing. It wasn't that fast and easy. But of course now it is. Things have changed that much in a really short period of time. In our lifetimes, things have changed incredibly. When I was in elementary school and I needed to get some information from an essay, I went to the back of my classroom and found the Encyclopedia Britannica. And it didn't matter how old that set of books was, whatever it said, that was the truth. That was the truth. We believed whatever was in there. Where do you get your information now? How many of you look up things on the internet? Google is your best friend, or Yahoo, or one of those search engines, and there are now many of those. And if you have a health condition, you look it up. If you need medication, you look it up. And how many pieces of information do you get about that? Hundreds. How do you know what the truth is? How do you know who the authority is anymore? Today, first of all, you're in information overload. You need more analysis and problem-solving skills than we've ever needed in the world before. Things are happening very fast. We get information fast, we have to figure it out fast. Never in the history of the world could we watch disasters as they happen. We watched the earthquake in Haiti as it happened. We watched planes hit the World Trade Center as it happened. That's unheard of. That's never been possible before. But this is the world that we are now in. This is the world that our children find themselves in. So lots of educators would say that the most important literacy skill today is analysis and problem solving. And of course, you start to teach these things to children when they're very, very young, these skills.